These two pieces would have retailed for over $8,000, but I did it for just $50. And that's not the only one. So today I'm sharing with you 10 thrift flips that look high end. And at the end of each one, I'd love to know, would you buy it or would you DIY it? Let's get started with one of my favorites. If you saw this in a boutique, you'd probably assume it was high-end art. But this started out as something completely different. When I first saw it, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. All I could see was my grandchildren trying to ride on it. Then I remembered these brass heads that I had seen floating around the internet, and I thought, what if I take this basket apart and put a little paint on it and a little decoupage? Maybe I could make something that would actually fit into my home decor. So here's the high end. It's $329. Mine was just $10. So would you buy it or DIY it? Keeping with that whimsy feel, when I found this picture at the thrift store, I knew it was cute, it had the right shape, but just wasn't my style. So I started by adding a bonding primer and then added some color because I love some color. I used this bright daisy color to add a little bit around the rim, then added a little bit of painter's tape so I had a nice crisp line to do a scallop in a turquoise. This is perfect for my kitchen colors. Then I've had these strawberry transfers for quite a while, so I cut each one out and you just rub it with that transfer stick and peel off that protective layer on top. Easy peasy. Seal with a little bit of sealer, and here it is, all done with the other two pieces that I did at the same time. Now, something similar would have been $179, but mine, it was just $2. Would you pay full price for this? I've had these chairs for quite a while. They are an extra 2 chairs from the dining set that my mother-in-law gave me years ago, and I thought they would make a beautiful French boudoir bench. Took off the seat portion from the back of the chair, and now I'm creating a new seat with some wood, adding some pocket holes, and then reattaching those longer pieces of wood to create a seat base. Then I added some supports to the bottom to recreate what was original on the chair. And then after priming, gave it 2 coats of this bright pink color to give my office space a little more pop of color. Came inside to sew up some upholstery fabric to make a cushion. Wrap that same fabric around a piece of plywood so that we have a base for our seat and the cushion to go on. And here it is styled in my bay window in my office studio space. Originally, this would have cost $1,980. Of course, it has a little more character, but I think I got close to this aesthetic for only $50. This Mackenzie Childs frame has been on my radar for quite some time, but the price tag was just, well, out of range, especially since I needed several of them. So I picked up this $3 frame and I knew it was perfect for a check pattern. So I drew out a grid pattern and then filled in every other square with hot pink paint. This is a little tedious, but so worth it. And on each one of the white squares, I did a slight shadow effect, just like the Mackenzie Childs original pottery. Cleaned everything up on the edges with my favorite teal color to just complete the piece. This is seriously a no-brainer. This only cost me $3 in a short afternoon. So let me know, would you buy it or would you DIY it? I have these 2 chairs in my office space, but they needed a table between them to set a drink down. And I found one that I love, but it was $539. And since I had a couple pieces of wood that I found, some from Lowe's, some from a thrift store, I thought I could put something together with this yard flamingo. So I started with the top piece by doing a paint pour technique that looks like marble. That was in the coloring that would go with the rest of the space in my room. Once it was dry, which dries overnight, I added a coat of pour-on epoxy for a nice glossy waterproof finish. And then I learned something new on this project as well, cutting out a circle with a router and a jig. It was so fun, a little terrifying, but so much fun. After those pieces were primed, I painted them with red spray paint so that the gold spray paint pops really nicely. This is going to be my base. I assemble everything together with some construction adhesive, drill a hole in the middle so that we can put the flamingo down in the middle. But first, she needs a makeover as well. So she gets painted with the primer, with the red paint and the gold, and then we assemble everything all together. She has a hole drilled in her bottom already. I just added one to her top. And it's the perfect little table that fits exactly between the 2 chairs. I needed it small and petite, but since that one was $539 and mine only cost $15, I think mine looks even better. What's your vote? All right, we're halfway through so far. So are you team buy it or DIY it? Let me know in the comments below. We're starting this project with something that I see at yard sales and estate sales all the time. Planter pots. And I love the Talavera ones, but the price tags are just a bit too much. So I started with these plastic planters and added a bonding primer. Since they are plastic, they need a bonding primer. Then we can add a touch of color because you know I love my color. So they all got a base in this hot pink color. And everywhere that I was going to have a different color on top, I based in a white. So I drew everything out in chalk and then painted everything in a white so the other colors stay nice and true and vibrant against that hot pink background. We used a touch of orange and yellow and cobalt blue just to add all kinds of sunshine to this pot. And little bits of filler here and there make the perfect addition. They have the same aesthetic, but surely not the same price tag. So that $164 was an online price, and I have seen them at local nurseries for much higher price. What do you think? Was it worth the DIY? Or would you have just bought it new? This piece was ridiculously simple and easy and a no-brainer to DIY, especially since retail price would have been $289. So we start off with a fresh coat of white paint over the entire thing and then just add a few different colors of spray paint into a bucket of water. It creates the most beautiful marble effect. Just dunk it in and shake it off under the water. Easy peasy. Absolutely captivating and is perfect on this shelf in my family room. Would you buy it or DIY it? You know what's better than thrift store prices? free alongside the road. And that's exactly where these pieces came from. We used them for a while in my furniture painting boutique as a paint display, but now it needs a whole new purpose. And I thought I could make the two pieces look a lot more cohesive if I added that carved wood look like the anthropology piece. So we paint the outside white and the inside is getting my favorite teal color for a nice vibrant pop of color on the inside. And since the old shelves would not hold the support of all the things that I need to put in this now, I made some new shelves and spaced them out a little better as well. Once I got everything loaded, I realized it needs doors back on it, but we had gotten rid of those doors a while ago. So new ones were going to have to be cut out of some plywood, just tracing that original line that was there from before. I added a little extra plywood, 1/4 inch plywood on top so that it gave this more of a paneled door look, and some more carved wood pieces to, again, just make it look more cohesive with what was already there so it wasn't too flat. Now everything is covered on top, but the bottom was still open. So I bought some more plywood, covered up where those drawers used to be, and started adding all of the carvings. So I got out all my furniture molds, I poured some resin, and I used some clay. This took several days. It made a huge mess, but I think it was totally worth it. Now I have this gorgeous piece to hold all of my supplies in my studio. She then was given a gorgeous paint job in this super soft blush pink. Remember where we started? Well, now here she is, all done with her new purpose. We added some butterfly knobs and little butterflies here and there because, I love my butterflies. And everything is so functional and practical and organized. I absolutely love it. This one even shocked me at how well it came out. So for just a bottom would have been $3,000. And since this one was free, I think the DIY was worth it. Now projects 9 and 10 both come from this $50 Facebook find. The bottom was used for a different project that I will show you in a second, but we'll start with the top. We'll take off some of that 70s character so that we can modernize it, make it look a little more like this piece that I found for $2,000. Once it was disassembled, we gave everything a good clean and a prime, because not everything on here is wood. Now we have a good base to start adding some color. So this is getting a coastal look, and I painted the inside in a sea foam green. And then that back piece that I popped off, I added on some wallpaper and a reverse stencil with some removable vinyl. After applying that seafoam green to the paintable wallpaper and peeling off the stencil, I'm left with this gorgeous mural that will sit in the back of this piece. Now we can refresh that outside. We'll start with a base coat of a light tan and then layer on a coat of brown glaze. That all gets feathered out with a hand broom so that it looks like weathered wood. That's what we're going for. We're going for that coastal weathered wood look. After that, a white glaze is applied and again feathered out with that hand broom. Since we took off the bottom, we'll have to get it up off the ground. And I took out some legs that I had in my storage that were just a little bit too long, cut them down, and then added a 1x4 to create a base for those legs to attach to the bottom of the cabinet. Now we're up about a foot and a half from the bottom. Added a couple layers of protective finish, and she's absolutely gorgeous. I wish I could have kept her, but she actually was sold to someone with a beautiful lake house. Do you think it was worth saving $2,000? I think so. Would you have DIY'd it or would you buy it? Do you think you might be able to tackle something like this? I see them in the thrift stores all the time. And now let's transform the bottom of that $50 cabinet. It had this lovely 70s aesthetic that, well, we needed to modernize a little bit, but thankfully with a couple of screws, I think I could make it look like this $5,000 piece. A little cleaning, we popped off all of that fretwork, which was honestly, it was just plastic, so it popped right off super easy. After filling all the holes with Bondo, we added a coat of primer. Next, we'll add some feet to the bottom to raise it up just a little bit. And then start painting the inside in my favorite teal color again. Took some tin snips and some little trim to add some nice traditional interest to the fronts of the doors and that front panel. Then gave it a light coat of light sand color and blended in a gorgeous metallic gold. You know the question I'm going to ask. Buy it, DIY it. Which would you choose? Combined with the top, we have a savings of over $8,000. I would say the DIY was totally worth it. I love finding ways to elevate my home, and I love the high-end pieces, but honestly, the price tags are just completely out of reach. And quite frankly, I think the thrifted versions look even better. And they sure are a whole lot more fun to transform. So if you've enjoyed this video today, would you do me a favor and hit that like button? Or if you'd like to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button or share with a friend that you think might enjoy it too. Bye-bye, y'all. Have a blessed day. See you in the next one.